particular will cause you to have very loose stools. So you know when you've reached your saturation point with that. When it comes to minerals, most people in America are very mineral deficient, very. And the reason being because we've really raped and pillaged our soil. With the use of, again, agribusiness and pesticides and, you know, sprays and insecticides on our soil and our crop, which dumps into our water, which pollutes our oceans and our rivers and our streams. You know, we have really tainted the ability for the soil to regenerate. Plus, there's not a lot of crop rotating going on. So what's happened is the things that, you know, the foods that should be very high in minerals aren't. So most people are finding that they have like dizziness or vertigo, and we're seeing a lot of people with skin problems, you know, related to zinc and manganese and magnesium deficiency. In my practice, I'm seeing a lot of people with muscular problems, and I know you see the same thing in your practice. And oftentimes that's potassium, sodium, because no one salts anymore because they're all afraid of hypertension. You need a little bit of sodium, not necessarily table salt, but you need sodium itself. People are missing things like magnesium, calcium, again, zinc, those trace minerals that are found in really healthy soils, and they should be abundant in our rooty vegetables and in our grains and our things that come out of the earth, but they're not. So minerals are pretty hard to overdose on. And one of the things that I can also suggest to our listening audience that they do is to consider doing a hair tissue mineral analysis, where you just take a snippet of hair in the back and submit that for an analysis, a test, and you can find out exactly what your toxic metals are, like your aluminum, your lead, your nickel, you know, your mercury, things like that. And you'll find out, because those toxic metals block minerals also getting into the system or into the cell, you'll find out what your mineral deficiencies are.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a wonderful tool to help the consumer assess his status for minerals, because minerals are very necessary. They're a cofactor for everything else. So without minerals in place and your vitamins in place, those two micronutrient groups, your macronutrients won't work well. And your oils can't be absorbed without your cofactors either. So you have to have all of the players.
You got to have the players.
Yep.
Has to be a complete
it's a whole team.
Team, I see. Okay.
Right.
Is supplementation always necessary?
You know, that's a good question. I decided to actually give up supplementation myself for about 1.5 years, and I did. And I just started supplementing again, and I did one of the hair tissue mineral analyses on myself 1 year ago, and I found I had very high levels of aluminum, you know, at the time. And I did some things for about a month to pull my aluminum down. It did come down a little bit. But in the course of time, where I didn't take any supplements for that almost 1 year plus, my minerals dropped considerably, notably. And I ended up with a lot more muscle problems. Like, you know, I tend to get tension in the neck, and that was spasming more, as you well know. So I would say that supplementation is a very good idea, because it's most difficult for Americans to eat a balanced diet. They don't have time to do it. They just don't. So I would say yes, you know, supplementing is a real good idea in this country, because most of our foods are processed, packaged, dyed, adulterated, preserved, pickled, smoked, hormonally treated, antibiotic laden. So you know what it's like, CYA, you know, cover your little tushy, cover your tush.
I was trying to think, what mineral is CYA? Okay, fine.
My dad always told me, cover your tush, girl. So take your B vitamins and take your minerals. You know, take a good multi-mineral if you're not clear about what you need, and always take Bs. And you can never take too much C, because you're always inundated with toxins every day. We breathe lots of lead in the air, just from fumes. If you live in the city, you're breathing a lot of lead from the methane, from the gasoline. So when you take vitamin C and you take vitamin E, you're able to compete with all of those toxic, noxious kind of fumes and elements in our environment. So yeah, I think it's a good idea just to kind of, you know, cover
This gives me a chance to segue into, I guess, the most logical question: which supplements are necessary, which are basic, which do you recommend? Well, and I'll throw one in for you to kind of relax a little bit, and that is, what about people who are bald who need hair analysis?
There are other places you can take it from.
I'm glad I asked. Back to CYA. Okay.
Hairy arms, hairy chest. You can take nails. You can actually take your toenails. Don't ask me who analyzes this stuff, but it's okay. What was the question?
Yeah.
Too much aluminum. Just kidding. The most necessary supplements would always be, I'd say, C, the B complexes, especially B6 and B5. They really help the liver to detoxify. And the B vitamins are what we call the anti-stress nutrients, so they really keep you going, keep your system strong, your immune system fighting well. And you also have, like folic acid and B12 are very important for the cells to bring in oxygen. So the B family, multiminerals, you know, zinc is really missing in a lot of people's diet, chromium, selenium, manganese is usually totally zero on most analyses. So those would be the ones. And vitamin E, it's a great antioxidant.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Well, you just when I think you're done, you always throw something else in there, and I go, okay, fine. I
Yes.
I thought something was wrong. I understood it all. I have a question here about oils and things like that for your diet. Fats or oils are missing from most American diets?
Yes, they are.
My report says here?
Yes, they are. Most Americans, like I said, especially women, avoid fats and oils at all costs. And the problem with that is you'll see that many people have very dry skin, you know, or patchy dry skin, or they have hair loss, or their vision is going pretty fast and they're pretty young. So when you see different manifestations of essential fatty acid deficiency, like pooped out adrenals, you know, and poor little adrenal glands aren't working well, when the thyroid is not working well and people are tired all the time or they're cold all the time, that's really a definite sign, you know, being chilled, the skin problems, you know, the chronic fatigue or the energy loss. That's all a sign that the thyroid isn't being nourished. And the thyroid and the whole endocrine system loves, absolutely adores essential fatty acids from good oils. And again, women are very nervous about that. And you're seeing so many females, Kurt, who are not doing any oils or fats at all. If they're getting 5 to 10 grams of oil a day, it's by accident. And when they start moving, when their body starts changing and going through some menopausal fluxes or perimenopausal fluxes, they will be rapidly pushed into menopause with many manifestation of serious symptoms, you know, that make them socially unacceptable. And when women get balanced or become balanced with their essential fatty acids and their vitamins and their minerals, their transition into changes in their life is very smooth. The transition is transitional rather than traumatic.
I see.
But also for men. I mean, people just need their good oils. So again, you have to have your cofactors present for the oils to work. You have to have your minerals present and your B vitamins.
My goodness. My goodness. There's so much to know.
It's fun. It's really fun.
But it is fun. Okay. All right. What is the key to successful, healthy living and eating smart?
Well, I think the key is honestly taking time to love yourself and to care about what you put into your body. And that means that you can't be a passive consumer any longer.
I like that.
You know?
You can't be a passive consumer and love yourself.
Yeah, because if you really care, you'll find out about what it is that's really going on in our industry, in our food chain, what you're putting into your body. I tell people, you know what, change the way you look at foods if you can, and ask how much what you're putting into your system is bringing to the table nutritionally, and what is it taking out. So foods are either going to give you something or they're going to take something away. And I'd rather be giving something as often as I can. Then I can afford to do a bowl of Haagen-Dazs or a really nice big, you know, chocolate mousse pie or something. If I eat well 6 days a week or 7 days a week, I treat myself. You know, I'll go, okay, I'm making a date with a couple brownies. I'm out of here, you know. And I go and I eat those brownies. I don't gain a pound. I feel great. I'm happy. My body's going, well,
I'm so glad to hear you.
Bad.
You have no idea how happy I am to hear you say this. I thought you were going to say, no, it's drawing little faces on your carrots. And that's
I go and
brownies
eat 2
and
dozen carrots.
Okay,
it's my high. So that's what it takes. And it takes a little bit of planning. People don't take time to plan. And, you know, you need to take what I suggest, especially for cooking and taking care of yourself, go to the store, spend an hour, you know, make a quick list, you know, jot it on a notepad or something. Bring your food home. Don't even stick it in the fridge. Cook it right away. And I cook for 1 week in less than an hour. And that's it. And I cook.
You mentioned that earlier. We've talked about this before.
I wouldn't cook otherwise.
I'm dubious. Are you talking to women?
So
Are you talking to men? 1 hour for the week.
Yes.
You have 12 people in the kitchen, and you say, okay, on your mark. You know, you come and tell us about that. That's great.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in another show. It's a very good show. And we do cooking classes that show people how to manage their lives in that way. If you can sit down and cook out 4 fish fillets and a couple chicken breasts and do some pork chops or whatever, and cook your rice up and steam up a huge vat of vegetables, you know, and pre-bake your sweet potatoes and your baked potatoes, you're done for the week. Lay it all on plates, throw it in baggies, and boom, 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 you're done. You don't have to cook again until the next weekend. And by the weekend, you're usually sick of eating your own food. You'd like to eat out. So, you know, you learn how, just through cooking your own food, you know how to order when you eat out. It's not that difficult.
What about eating out healthily?
Well, you have to be smart. You know, I say always go for more vegetables than you do for proteins and starchy things like potatoes and desserts and sweets and rolls and butter and stuff. So if you always try to do at least double the greens, you know, to the rest of your plate, you'll be in a safe place when it comes to eating smart.
That's good. Even I can follow that.
Sure.
Got to do a wrap up here, but tell me, if you can,
Yes.
what 3 tips, I suppose, would you give our listening audience to help us eat smart?
I would say every week kind of do a profile of what your week looks like. Just look at your week and go, okay, I'm not going to have time to cook Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, much like my life. So I'm going to have to cook on Sunday. So give your week an overview, cursory look, get to the store, get the food, give yourself a 2-hour block of time, 2.5 hours on a Sunday or something where you take care of yourself. So that's, you know, it's very simple. And make sure you take bubble baths if you don't, because that's a very important part of treating yourself after you've cooked for an hour, which is a killer for most of us. All right?
I think that's great. I love the way you said that. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. And I think that's important. Thank you. As always, you bring such a plethora of data to the table here.
You know what, Kurt, and talk to me again, you know, after the show's over, and maybe we'll talk about doing a show on how to cook for 1 week in less than an hour. It is so simple. People are amazed, and we use all kinds of really great herbs and spices and, you know, oils and mustards and things like that to make the foods taste great.
Remember, the males have to even find it. We gotta, where
simple.
is it?
I give you a little shopping list. You keep staples in the house, and away you go. You're set.
Put this in a pot?
Right. Boil water. Help. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is easy, though.
Just the idea of the supplements, let's see, the minerals, and macro and micro.
Macro
nutrients.
are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Fats are a misnomer, though, because fats are saturated and oils are unsaturated.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
And then our vitamins and minerals to supplement an otherwise an optimal diet and take some time to take care, you know?
I know you were joking a little about the bubble bath, but after you eat, it's important to sort of have some downtime and relax so that it can digest. And
Right.
Okay, I see. That's so much information. Just a lot of things, and we're definitely trying to follow it good. Well, that's another show for us, Deborah, and I appreciate it as always.
Great.
This is Health Exposure. I'm Kurt Hill, and thank you very much.
Let me say